Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back. So this video is going to be different than usual because I broke one of my recent budget builds, and we're going to see what the problem is and hopefully fix it. And also change a couple components on there, which I'm not really digging that much actually. And so let's get started here. So what happened here is I was flying over some trees, lost signal, got stuck in a tree. I had to get a friend to climb that thing to get it down for me. Now what happened is when it fell into the tree, as we can see, let's actually get a closer look here. We see that the connector broke. And how the hell would this break? Well, the branches went inside and broke it. Now, I don't know if it's still working or not, but last time I plugged it in, obviously it didn't boot, but I didn't see what was going on here in the field. The ESC booted up fine. So we're going to chill together, fix it, and I'll be talking about some random things here as we go along. So let's get started. I want to remove everything. So yeah, some of the components I want to replace currently, actually one component to be exact, is I want to replace the video transmitter to the bigger version because I'm using this quite a lot and this doesn't really get that much range as I'd like it to in my bando. And that's why I want to switch it out to the Rush Ultimate Plus. I also got their new tanks, but we'll take a look at those later on. So I will be replacing this guy right here. So first of all, I'm just really going to start desoldering this. There's really no format to this. I'm just going to do it as what I see needs to be done and just enjoy it with you guys. So here, we're going to remove the video transmitter. And by the way, if you guys haven't heard, I released a new application, actually two applications. We have AskFPV. If you have any problems, go there, post it. You can post a picture. There's a lot of people there ready to help. And not only that, if you can help people, go help because I am giving stuff away to the people that help the most. For example, a guy named Vitroid on there got a Tina Whoop from me. And I'm really giving proper stuff. I'm not giving some bullshit ass sticker or something or a propeller. I really give what I have. Like I'll even give my build quadcopters if I don't have anything to give away. So I really want to try to take care of the people that take care of the community here. Now something really nice is this frame actually. Look at all these things that it came with. This 3D printed parts just make it so beautiful. It's still really nice to this day actually. I love flying this quadcopter too. But I still prefer to fly my GETFPV with Racer Star motors because I really am not afraid to break that thing. And the power on there is so predictable that you could get away with quite a lot. Now I also noticed something about this frame as well. The standoffs are actually quite shitty and most of them stripped from the bottom, especially these last ones, see? Those are not really holding into place anymore. They're just basically stripped. So I'm going to try to get longer screws later on here. So don't make the same noob mistake that I just made. I actually ripped off my antenna. Well, I didn't rip them off. I unplugged them basically. Luckily, it didn't rip off from my XM Plus. So make sure you undo those before you pull a 3D printed part. So let's put this to the side. We'll come back to this later. And we're going to bring in some wires here. So recently I broke this. I was supposed to review it, but it broke in a crash. Or I crashed and I no longer get video feed, but I do get signal. I'll be debugging that one later. It was on the T-Motor. What was it on? I think the T-Motor FT5, the new one that nobody has yet. They just sent me like a naked quad, which is basically just the stack motors. And that's about it. And I just decided to plug this guy in right here. So I'm going to reuse these wires because they're really nice wires. I really love silicone wires. I don't know why no company is really selling a pack of silicone colored wires. I mean, even if they cost 30 bucks or 50 bucks, I'd buy them if it was a good enough size for me. We're going to come back to the ground because the ground, if you don't know this, is the most annoying to always solder to. So yeah, if anybody knows or has a link to a really nice silicone package of wires, pass that along to me and other people because I really want to buy a pack. Because usually I'm just salvaging wires from every other quadcopter. Or usually my main source of silicone wires is from FPV cameras because they give you so much. And I really calculate those wires when I cut them up. So I don't have to go salvage from another quadcopter or something. So I try to have as much as possible on with me. So by the way, did you guys see, I think it was RunCam. They released a camera that actually gives you the camera's angle tilt, which is pretty awesome actually. So you can always be consistent if that consistency really, really matters to you. So here we're taking video, ground. Actually, we'll just do all of them. Fuck it. So we're just going to do all of them here. See that technique? Really nice. Hopefully that was nice. Yeah, look at that. Really nice. All right. So DC is red. Start with this one here. So always solder from the left to the right if you don't know that. I mean, that's only if you're right-handed. So solder always towards your dominant hand, because in this way you don't get anything in the way here. Look how dirty I made it. So yeah, side note, me and Kebab FPV, if you know him by that, or Bob, we were planning on doing a podcast together, like a separate channel where we just talk about things, bring people and discuss new ideas, new trends, and you know, bring people on Discord and just chit chat with people and just get people's opinions. I think it would be really interesting, and we really need something like that. I'd personally watch it. I think it would be really interesting. You would have his expertise in toothpick knowledge. So I think that would be pretty fun. Sit down and just talk about some random tech stuff as well. We don't always have to do just drone stuff. We're all human. We're not all drones. I can't see from this far, by the way. I just really want you guys to know that. Because someone's like, oh, you suck at soldering. I do kind of, but most of the time this thing is like, you can't even see how far it is away. Usually about like that far away from me, if not more. Let me see. Oh no, way more than that. That far away from me, if that makes sense. More than a hand. So perfect. And these are really, really tiny. So now what we got here is we have 9 volt because this is a Mamba diatone. Then we have the ground. Then we have the smart audio. And the yellow one is going to be the video. Now I really don't like this video. Can you see it? How loose it is? Look at these. These are really nice. This one's not nice. So I'm just going to hit it a little bit more here. So what do you guys think of the idea of a 7-inch scene whoop? So as many of you probably know or don't know, I recently did a 7-inch build on the channel with the GETFPV Mark IV. And what I want to do is just basically make a video of me designing and cutting out some sort of a scene whoop kit that'll convert it. And see how that does. That'll be very interesting because 7-inch usually has really long flight time, high cruising speed, and they could be very useful. Okay, so now I'm debating on what should I do with this. Should we cut it off, leave it on, melt it off? I think we should just keep it on. I don't think it's going to affect much. So I'm going to keep this on for now. And we're just going to install. Oh, I hope this thing reaches. Okay, it does reach. I know a 7-inch scene whoop sounds pretty useless. But when you really think about it, maybe you have some sort of, I mean, it's obviously going to be for some sort of a special application, you know, like if you're going on a shoot or something. Right now, what I'm actually doing is contacting the biggest real estate companies here just to get some side jobs in and build my portfolio. I'm actually contacting them, telling them, I'll do this shit for free. I just want to build a portfolio and just enjoy flying in people's houses. And as time goes on, probably build a portfolio and just tell them, if you guys like my work, just recommend me. And that'll be a really nice side hustle. I mean, you can make money from your own hobby that you truly love. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, really. I mean, all you really need is a GoPro and a decently flying quadcopter and Real Steady. I have a coupon down below. Use it if you really need Real Steady. They give me a coupon to give you guys. So if you use it. All right, so I have a little problem here. I don't remember at all where the 9 volt is or the ground is. They're not really marked, but VTX and TX3 are marked. So I'm going to solder those into place. And it's going to make things a bit nastier because we're going to have to work from the inside first. So we'll start with the VTX here. So now I'm going to solder the video transmitter to the flight controller. And I have a little problem because I don't really remember where the 9 volt is and where the ground is because they're not really written anywhere. So first I want to make sure I want to move everything out of the way. So I'll start with the VTX part, this part right here. It's a really nasty angle. And the next TX3, which is obviously smart audio, which I made the white wire. There we go. Now I need to go check which one is the 9 volt and ground. And I'll be right back. All right, so I figured it out. The one on the innermost part right there is going to be the 9 volt. Oh, I should have added some solder on the tip because I left it for a while. Oh, it's fine. The ground might give us a little problem here because we need the heat transfer to be the best. The tip it's okay. It's gonna hold. All right, that looks decent from this far away. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take a closer look, make sure nothing is bridged. So by the way, this F405 DJI is insane. And now I'm really curious because there's a lot of what is it called? There's a lot of protection features on the, actually just a TVS diode on the main battery input. And hopefully that will keep everything running. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have to cut the ESC part. And we are going to be soldering it up here. And we need to double check everything. So we could pop this off. The first thing I want to check is if all of them are going straight, because some of these don't come straight and they come crisscross. So you need to make sure you take a note of which side goes where if they are crisscrossed. But here we see that they're all going pretty much straight. So we can actually just cut straight across and we can solder them right here. This is another little nice benefit with the F405 DJI. As you can tell, we broke the connector, but we still have pads to connect to, which makes our life easier than having to try to solder to these really tiny pins under here and try to desolder this whole plastic piece. So that right there is proving itself to be a really good purchase. And not only that, it's been lasting me quite a while. Okay, so I went ahead and checked the documentation here, and it seems to just basically solder exactly in the same order that we see them right here. So the ground's going to actually start from all the way to the edge, and then the other ones are in the correct order. So what I'm going to do first is, this was on the bottom side, so I'm going to cut this all the way to the edge right here, and go ahead and prepare these wires. Now again, so far I am really loving this flight controller. And I'll love it even more if everything is still working. Now, everything is still working as in it spins, it boots, and I mean, it boots in beta flight, so theoretically it should work. So we didn't fly a flight controller here, or the microcontroller unit at least. So we should be good in that perspective. As you can tell, I'm pinching the wires I'm pulling. It's the best, especially with these tiny silicone wires. They have so many benefits, it's just insane. So if you don't know this, I just released, or me and Holly bro released a FPV trick shot competition, or just some sweet lucky misses, I guess. And you just join it on FPV-Link. Now, if you watch this later on in the future, I do host competitions every week or so. So check it out. It's fpvlink.app. There's also an Android and iOS. iOS is not out yet. It'll be out in 2 weeks or so. It's basically done, but I just don't have time to go and actually upload it just yet because I have to do all the pictures, and it's really annoying when you upload a new application. They ask for so many pictures, it's insane, like different sizes, and it has to be perfect, and you need a bunch of these, and oh my goodness, it's really ridiculous at times. Now FPV Ask application, which is the other one where you get help. I had really big problems with that one. I kept having data being corrupt and lost, and I had to keep backing it up if I forgot. There was some lost data in the notifications table. So I've been working the past week to completely redo the backend, which I have, to MySQL and Node.js. I was using some shitty JSON database thing that people were saying was really good, but just the smallest little error in the data going in just completely annihilates the whole table. And just, you know, I was always like, I don't need to back up the users table. It'll be fine. And guess what? Yesterday, I lost like 10% of the users. But it's fine if they log in, they come back in. But the problem there is the relation between those users and their posts. And yeah, I lost that. So hopefully, if, you know, each person that tells me, oh, this was my post and why is my name no longer on there, then I can immediately bring back all of his posts and his user back to normal. Because then I could just relate that ID to everybody or everything he's done. But knowing how the world works, not everybody will contact you. So there are some data lost. But I'm very happy though that the answers and the questions were not. Just some of the users' relations to their questions and answers was lost. And it wasn't that much. It was basically the new people for some reason. I don't know why it hit that. Some phone uploaded some corrupt data, or maybe in a different language, and it corrupted that piece of crap JSON database. So I think I kind of screwed up here because it turns out that this broke from the crash. Just that little white piece right there. And we just have to be very careful with it. So let's go ahead and bring in the flight controller back here. So now I'm going to grab the connector and just start soldering direct. But first of all, I'm going to go ahead and start preparing the pads. So yeah, about the whole JSON database thing, which was really stupid. I don't know why the hell I did that. I knew it was going to crash, actually. I knew something like that was going to happen, but it was just so much quicker to develop because I've never really used Node.js before. What the hell's on here? Oh, this is ground, that's why. I thought it had some sort of conformal coding. Yeah, so I've never used that before. And the Node.js, which is what everything is on now. But, you know, I've been working behind the scenes every couple days, like 5 hours or so at night on it, because I had a feeling it's going to happen eventually. And I wanted to minimize as much downtime as possible. And it happened yesterday. But I was basically pretty much almost ready. And I just stayed up last night till like 2 in the morning preparing the new Node.js system, or just finalizing it, make sure you can edit your questions, you could delete them, and everything like that. So I'm going to remove this one here, because now we're going to solder ground. And as you can tell, the ground on here is strong with this one. iFlight, I hope you're watching. Your standoffs really annoy the shit out of me. Why do they have to be so shitty? iFlight, please use a different company for your standoffs next time. You know what, I was just thinking about something. You know, if you have an iFlight frame, I mean, if you're a YouTuber, you have an iFlight frame and you're building it like you're using a flight controller from their competition. How annoying would that be? Is it really annoying for them? I always think about these things. We got to make sure we hit the correct order here, by the way. So if you don't, I mean, as long as you got the, I don't know, actually, as long as you really just got the ground and the power correct, you're more likely going to be okay. But if you don't, then say bye-bye to almost everything on here, depending on what burns. Right now, I am developing my own flight controller with a company, and hopefully everything works out. I gave a spec list, I gave a prototype schematic, and it has some features not found anywhere, but should have been found everywhere. You guys remember when we used to have to solder each ESC to the power distribution board, and then each of the ESC signal to the flight controller, and then the power distribution board had to have that 5 volts so the flight controller could boot up? Do you remember those days? Well, depends on how long you've been here. Probably not. All right, one more, and we have the moment of truth upon us. Will we burn it? Will it burn? Will it boot? We'll figure that out as time goes on. So here we have it completely set up. Now I'm just going to have a quick look at this and make sure nothing is bridged or remotely bridged, or any strands sticking somewhere I don't want them to. Everything looks and seems to be good. Now let's plug this in here. So now we have everything in, and what I want to do is I want to go ahead and plug in an antenna on this, and I want to plug in my antennas on the receiver, which I accidentally pulled out, and I'm very happy that I didn't break any of them while doing that, because usually these are the crappiest antennas on planet Earth. Oh, these are so annoying to put into place. Oh, there we go. That was nice. I don't know if you ever had to put these back into place. It's not like a normal IPEX. This is like a stupid proof IPEX, really. Oh, wow. That shows I'm not stupid. Wow, really nice. At least today I wasn't. Okay. And am I forgetting anything? Well, I can't hear you guys, so let's plug it in. I'm going to go get a battery and hope for the best, and also the fire extinguisher. So I'll be right back. I got the battery. I'm just going to move this back a little, so if anything catches, we could kind of run away. Fire extinguisher is with my assistant, and perfect. That's perfect. All of them seem to have worked. All right, so that's plugged in. I don't know. Man, those pops always scare me. Oh my god, I thought that was smoke. Ooh, what is that? It's like, oh, it's probably, what is it called? Spiderweb? Okay, well, everything looks to be fine. So, good job, Diatone. And I told you guys these ESCs were insane when I tested them. These are the F50s and F60s ESCs here. I am very happy with that. So now this thing is fully functional. I'm just going to do the final touches here. I'm going to put the video transmitter in the back, and I'm going to put the receiver up top. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to include it. Everything I used here is linked down below. And also some other things like my applications. If you could check those out, you could benefit a lot from them, because you can do quite a lot with them. You could help others, you could get help, you could sell your stuff, you could buy a service from somebody. So both applications are really good, and they both have their use cases for benefiting, whether it's winning a competition, helping somebody, meeting people, selling your service, buying somebody's service. Or there's so many things to do there, and that's the whole reason why I made it, just to make some kind of a unified place where we can all go there and be together, help each other out, and come up with some crazy stuff. Alright guys, and that's going to conclude it for this video, and make sure you check the links down below. Also come join my Patreon. I do a ton of giveaways there, and you get some awesome perks as well. And well, everything's linked down below. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.